Tell me about your early musical loves. When did you start listening to music and it became more than just background music? It's like, I want to know who that artist is. You want to go see them live. What were some of those artists?
Well, I've loved music since I was a little girl. It's like just like in me. I grew up like since I was like 2 or 3. My mom said I was always singing, and she could tell that I was really into music. And so as a kid and a teenager, throughout my whole youth, basically, I was always in performing arts stuff like dance and choir, orchestra, drama, cheerleading, drill team, anything performing arts or performing I was into as far as dancing or singing goes. And I always loved music. My mom was a huge music fan. She was very into like rock music, and my dad's a DJ, so I've always been really around music. And I mean, I would say I listened to everything, especially because my dad's a DJ. My mom listened to a lot of rock, and with my dad, I listened to a lot more like hip hop and soul. And since I was little, I've always loved concerts. I remember, I would beg my mom. I'm like, Mom, I want to go to like Kiss FM or K Rock would have those like concerts where it's like the summer ones where it's like a bunch of bands and stuff. And I would always love to go to concerts and seeing live shows. And I remember seeing live shows and just always like wanting to be up there myself, And I remember, as a kid, like when I performed for my first talent show, I was always in dance stuff. But when I performed for, my first talent show, like as a little girl, I remember thinking like I want to be a superstar. Like I literally thought I was a Spice Girl up there. You know what I mean? Like, and from that like moment on, I stayed doing music and stayed doing all that stuff, and there was so much different music I listened to throughout my childhood. I can't even say who was my favorites, or I listened to everything really. So. And I went to a lot of concerts. It's like too many to even name. Like I think for a kid, I went to like more concerts than anybody. My mom always took me to concerts, and she like went to a lot of rock concerts. So I was definitely around a lot of live music.
She got to go to the Universal Amphitheater a lot.
Yeah.
And the Palladium and all these great places, the Greek Theater, stuff like that. Now I heard you're a big fan of Gwen Stefani. I helped bring out No Doubt back in the day. Tell us what it is about Gwen's attitude, her look, and everything that struck you.
I just think that Gwen Stefani is so dope because she's one of a kind. She, as an artist, she doesn't sound like anybody. Like nobody has a voice that sounds like Gwen Stefani. You hear Gwen Stefani and you know it's her. And style-wise, musically, just everything about her is so unique. There's not really anybody like her, and I think that she's such a great influence, and she's so diverse. She went from being in a rock band to basically doing hip-hop, pop music, and that's something that I aspire to do myself. I would love to go from doing hip-hop music to maybe one day getting into another genre of music, because I love all music. So I really look up to her for that. I think she's just a great role model for a lot of young girls too. She's just dope in every way, and she's got she's hardworking, and she's still, like I said, she's I think like 40 now or something, and still looks so beautiful. And it's like she's just like a beauty icon, a style icon, music icon. I love her in every way. I wish I could do a song with her.
I mean, she got her family together.
Exactly, like
husband,
and like everything about her.
Her
is
life,
like the perfect.
You never had a bad time. There was never any controversy with Gwen. No, it's amazing. And when we talk about hip-hop, being on the West Coast here, so much great music. Dr. Dre and Ice Cube and NWA, and that led to Tupac and Eminem and everything. What is it about an artist like Tupac that meant so much to you?
Tupac really, as a, not even just as a rapper, but as a poet, he was just so much more deep. I think that he talked about a lot of things that rappers didn't talk about in songs at that time, and I think that his style of rapping, his flow, was just so unique. And it's like so many people, I think, I think a lot of people are influenced by his flow today, because there wasn't really anybody else that rapped like Tupac, you know, like at that time. That was like, it was just so unique, like his flow, everything. And I think that you can really feel like his passion, not more than anybody, but I just think that that's something that makes me like an artist, is when you can like feel their passion when they're like singing or rapping or performing. You know, sometimes I'll watch somebody perform and it's like, oh, they have a great voice, but I don't really feel anything. I'm just like, you have a good voice. So I think about what I love about Tupac is like that passion that he has, and that you can like feel when he's rapping, you know?
You can just tell he's lived a lot.
Exactly.
So you can just feel the ups and downs.
You can like feel everything he's been through when he's rapping about it, you know?
Yeah, that's amazing. So now tell us about, you know, getting the job with Rob. It started out, you just answered an ad and become a receptionist, and then got involved in the show. What was the story?
Basically, I was pursuing music since I was like, 14, 15, and I had made a MySpace music page, and when I was like 19, I met Rob, and I had been grinding on my MySpace music page, just adding everybody, and actually through MySpace is how I met friends of Rob, and like got connected with him and met him. But he met me as a rapper, and like knew about me as like this little white girl that was trying to rap, you know, which back then there was no other white girl trying to rap. It was so unique, so I got a lot more attention at the time, and it saying like, oh, I'm a white girl rapper, people were like, oh, that's crazy, that's interesting, you know. So he was very intrigued by it, and he had met me, thought I was funny, and he it's a really long story how it happened, but to make it very short, he asked me to be on an episode of his new show, and I was like, well, what do you want me to do? And he's like, I want you to be my receptionist for the day and greet the Carl's Jr. people because they're coming to do a viral video. And he was like, and then maybe we could have you like rap or something, you could rap in the viral video, and then people will see you rapping on TV. And I was like, okay, like I'll do it, like why not? And so I went, I filmed the first day, and then that day they just like, I guess they really liked me, Rob and MTV, and they asked me to be on the show permanently. And then that's how I got on the show. And it was funny, the first day I went there, everybody kept asking me, they're like, oh, are you the rapping receptionist? And I was like, oh, I guess I am. I guess I'm the rapping receptionist. So that's kind of how I got that title. And I was more a receptionist for TV. I wasn't really, working there full time, day to day. Although I did, deliver a couple packages upstairs, because I feel like the delivery guy would come in and see me and like not know I didn't really work there. And he'd be like, can you sign for this? And I'm like, I'd look around, but you know what, sure, why not? And just sign for packages and bring them up. So occasionally I did a little work there, but I was basically a receptionist for TV, and I mainly have always wanted to do music, so I stayed pursuing that the whole time, and ended up being on Rob's other show, Ridiculousness, and then now here I am.
So the show just kind of evolved naturally. You just yourself, and just wasn't really the goal, but it just flowed. Yeah,
pretty much. I mean, I don't think that anybody, even Rob, I know he supports me, but I don't think even he thought that, like, I would really make a music career happen for myself. And when I did and started making it happen for myself, I think he started giving me more shine on the show, started putting me in the show more, because I, on my own, did a lot of work outside of the show to, further my career as an artist, as a, celebrity, as whatever it was I was doing. I did a lot of stuff to further myself, so he started giving me more shine. And then he asked me to be on Ridiculousness also, and that's kind of how it happened. And then I've just stayed doing my music at the same time.
Great. Well, obviously through the show you have a lot of rappers and musical people, guest on the show, Snoop Dogg and all that. Tell us about some of those experiences, how you've been able to kind of network with some of the people you're trying to get to and hear your music. And then how did that eventually lead to Lil Wayne?
Well, I've definitely met a lot of cool people through Ridiculousness, but I would say everything that's happened in my music career, nothing has been because of Ridiculousness. I'd say I got maybe a connection or two out of Ridiculousness or Fantasy Factory. Other than that, all my connections I've made outside of the show myself, including Wayne. And to make a long story short, I started working with my producer, Rich Skills, and Rich had a homie that was connected with people that worked with Wayne, and I basically met with them. They loved my music, and they wanted to bring me to meet Wayne in Miami. And so I went to meet Wayne in Miami. I played him my music, and he loved it, and that's kind of how it happened.
Wow, amazing. And tell us about what it's like, working with that camp, because obviously they've got their Nicki Minaj's and Drake's, and of course Wayne himself. What is it like to be part of that camp?
It's really dope being a part of Young Money. It's such a family environment. It's such a family vibe. It's like everybody has each other's back, and even though a lot of people are so disconnected and out doing their own things separately, and I don't know Nicki Minaj, I don't really know Drake, but I know Twist, and I know Wayne and Mac Main and Chanel and Gutta Gutta, and even though all of us are very busy doing our own thing separately, everybody still embraces each other as a family. And as far as being a rapper, I think it's probably the best stamp of approval you could get in the game. I think that Drake and Nicki are two of the greatest rappers that there are right now, and Wayne discovered them. Wayne put them on. And I think that having Wayne as a cosign for me and giving me that stamp of approval is the best thing that could happen for my rap career. So I definitely love being a part of Young Money.
Sure. Now, crafting your debut album, what was the attitude? Did you want to show a lot of different sides of you? What was kind of your approach so people didn't see you as just one-dimensional? Was there, a thought of the types of songs or the depth of the material or the...
Wait, you're saying on my mixtape I had put out or on my album?
Your album.
That I'm working on?
Yes.
Well, on my album that I'm working on, it's very, it's definitely hip-hop, rap, pop. There's a lot of rock influence in some songs. I actually, I think I'm getting Travis Barker to do the drums on this one song for me, so that's going to be really dope. And I'm singing a lot more on it, so it's really showing a lot more of me. I think I'm really putting my all in, and finally, musically rapping about stuff. I decided to rap a little bit less. I'm still rapping about flashy things because I love flashy, nice things. That's what I work hard for. But there's a lot more songs where it's talking about my life and my struggle and how people hate on me and how I'm the underdog and I'm just trying to finally make it and get my recognition. And I think that people will really hear that, as well as hear that I'm diverse. I rap, I'm singing on it, and there's a lot of different type of beats on it too. It's not all trap beats or all club beats, or it's a lot of different vibes going on, but still the same Chanel West Coast vibe overall.
Sure. So there's a lot of sides to you.
Yeah, there is. I'm a very diverse person. So.
Yeah. And what message do you have to the haters out there that don't have anything better to do in their life than to try and bring other people down or poke holes in, what people are trying to achieve?
My message to the haters is definitely they need to just really take a step back, stop hating, and focus on what it is that they want to do with their lives and themselves, and take the steps to make it happen and go for it. Because I think that people are just so sad that they can't be doing other things in life, and they don't know how to go out and get it, that they have no other choice but to hate on people who are succeeding. And I also think that my message to the haters is, I could say this, I don't agree with you, but I understand you, because I feel like I've been in that situation before. I remember sitting at my 9-to-5 job and being on Perez Hilton during my lunch break, and there was some girl on there rapping, and she was terrible in my opinion, and I was just bored, and I left the comment man, this bitch sucks or something, and because I was bored, and I was I had my 9-to-5 job, I was on my lunch break, and when I think back, I'm damn, I'm I was just bored. It's just people like that, who just really, they have nothing better to do, so that's why they leave mean comments. And so you can't really be that mad at them, because for me, I can say that I understand, I guess, I wasn't happy at that time with my life. I didn't like working a 9-to-5 job. I wanted to be doing what I'm doing now, and it took me a while to realize that and take the step to quit the job and take the steps to get here, but I wasn't happy then, so that's why I did stuff leave comments saying this bitch sucks. So I think the haters just need to to focus on what they really want and go for it.
Yeah, I mean, your opinion is one thing, but what are you doing in your life other than that?
Yeah.
And what advice do you give? Because now you've seen the industry from a number of different sides. You see how much hard work and dedication, perseverance, focus, all the talents it takes to put out a great record or to create a successful career or tour. What advice do you give to those young creative people coming up that might want to follow in your footsteps or do something in TV or music or in the entertainment business? What do they need to focus on?
Trying to come up in the entertainment business, I would definitely say focus on your craft first and foremost. Don't focus on the other things. I mean, like, as far as music goes, I would say focus on music first. The image and everything else can come later. It's the music that will really grab people and get them. You know, like, you go on YouTube and you see there's some of these ugliest, weirdest looking people, but they got amazing voices and they grasp you and they get you with the music. So it's like, I think as an artist, you need to focus on your craft and your music first, and don't worry about the other side stuff.
Great. And tell us about the El Rey show. I know you got a chance to perform with Swayze, and what does this mean to you, you know, with the hometown crowd and, you know, great facility like El Rey, which so many people have performed at?
It's crazy because, you know, definitely doing a show with Swayze is something I've wanted to do for a while. We've been homies for a long time, and we've just never had a chance to make it happen. So it's dope that we're finally making it happen, both, you know, in LA, because we're both from here. And it's really cool because I think that, you know, I actually don't get a lot of shows in LA. And I think to myself sometimes, this might sound weird, but I'm like, I grew up here. I know a lot of people here. So it's different when you're performing in your hometown, which happens to be somewhere like LA, than performing elsewhere, you know what I'm saying, where people don't know you, where you have fans and stuff. It's like, I definitely have fans here, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like it's more, what's the word? Is it more tangible? Like, it's more easy to reach people here? Yeah. So like, I think that less people in LA are as into shows as other places. I've actually noticed, even though there's a lot of dope places here, like the Roxy and the El Rey and places like that where people perform, I've noticed that it seems like the crowds in LA are like a little bit lazier than like crowds when you go to, like, when I was in Missouri or when I was in Florida. They're jaded.
They have something every night.
Exactly. They're jaded. Like, it's so simple for them to see a show here or to see anybody, and you know, like me, I feel like, oh, all my friends, like, my friends know me. They're not gonna come see my show. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, I know everybody in LA. They're all my homies. So it's like,
everybody wants to be on the guest list.
Yeah, like, exactly. That's another thing too. I'm getting a million people guest list. I'm like, you gotta buy tickets. Like, and I'm like, I don't want to tell people to buy tickets, but then it's like the whole entire crowd ends up being the guest list.
Right. You gotta pay for the whole show.
So, but as far as crowds though go too, I think that LA, it's always a tougher crowd. So whenever you do make them get hyped and stuff, it's a much more rewarding feeling. You're like, oh my god, I got the people in LA to get up and get crazy. So you know you did a good job. So I'm hoping that me and Swayze kill it, and that's what happens.